Welcome to the premiere of Behind the Pause. I'm your host, Jack. Our goal with this series is to look past the ticker and find the real industrial DNA of the companies that we cover. We are launching today with a deep dive into a Taiwanese icon, Grape King Bio, ticker 1707TT. I think in Taiwan, Grape King is a household name. Their products can be seen in almost every pharmacy or convenience stores. But for our global institutional audience, there is a far more sophisticated story happening beneath the surface. Behind the retail brand, I think it lies a biotech powerhouse with Asia's largest fermentation platform. So joining me today is Duncan Aitken. Duncan is the IR director of Grape King Bio, but he also heads the OEM and ODM division of the company, which has emerged as the group's most visible engine for global expansion. Duncan, welcome.
Thanks, Jack. It's a pleasure to be here, and thanks for the opportunity to share our strategic evaluation of our business.
Yep. Duncan, I think before we get into the strategy, let's set the stage for our international viewers. Grape King has been around, since 1969? How do you describe the company's identity today to a fund manager globally who might only see you as a supplement seller?
Thanks, Jack. It's a great starting point. We often describe ourselves as a vertically integrated biotechnology platform. We operate one of the largest nutraceutical fermentation facilities here in Asia, with a total capacity of about 587 tons. What truly makes us unique is our four-pillar model, which allows us to dominate different market segments whilst sharing a single R&D structure or core. Taiwan-owned brand, it's our retail anchor. We hold a massive 59% market share in functional mushrooms and just over 30% of the probiotics market share in Taiwan. The pillar also focuses on brand credibility, mass market reach through pharmacies, convenience stores, superstores, etc. The second part of our business is UVACO, formerly known as ProPartner. This is our multi-level marketing company or direct selling company. UVACO is Taiwan's largest domestic direct selling company and has consistently been in the top 3 over the last several years. It is serviced by about 200,000 members, reaching multiple consumers around Taiwan and across Asia, and focuses on our high-end, high-potency formulations and products driven by an education with the members speaking to consumers directly. The third part of our business is Shanghai Grape King. This is our gateway to the China market. We've been there for many years and specializes in ODM, and recently has been set up a strategic partnership with the Uni-President Group, which allows us to navigate the regulatory environment and also maintaining quite a high plant utilization. The fourth part, and possibly the most important part of our business, is the OEM platform. It's our fastest growing segment within the group, and in 2015 actually grew by 54%. You can find our products, or our clients' products, should I say, through the ODM model across Japan, Europe, and even across to the US. It's quite a broad reach with a ODM model.
That sounds like very diverse mix. Just curious, how do these pillars actually work together? It seems like, they could potentially cannibalize each other.
On the contrary, they're actually highly complementary, to be honest. Think of it as an integrated system. We use our own brand to validate new product concepts in the mass market. That's our own brand. We then move into high-end value, clinically complex formulas into ProPartner. Where our members provide the necessary consumer education about those different products and the formulas, etc. Finally, with the proven technology, we have a scale for global partners through the ODM division. And this architecture actually allows us to extend the product life cycles and maximize the utilization of our massive fermentation assets and factory.
Okay, well, so you're saying that the retail business is essentially sort of like the testing ground for the global B2B business.
Exactly. Our internal channels provide us with first-party data and of proof of concept, and that we can take to our Tier-1 Pharma client to say, hey, this works. He has the data, he has the science, and of course, we've got the scale to actually produce the products for them.
Got it. Got it. So just on top of that, I kind of wanted to dig into further on the, BioFoundry claim. I think
Sure.
in the investment world, many supplement companies are, more like marketing firms, right? They buy generic raw materials from a third party, and put them in a bottle and then focuses on the
Right.
branding. But looking at your, R&D foundations, Grape King seems to come from a completely different angle. You have a sort of like a biological asset moat, consisting over 4,000 proprietary microbial strains, more than 200 patents and nearly 200 scientific publications. Duncan, can you kind of just elaborate more on your competitive advantage in raw materials? What does it mean for a client when you say you own the strain rather than just the factory?
Sure. Uh, that's exactly this distinction that defines us from our peers and competitors out there. Because we own our own bioengineering center and the Longtan Research Institute, we're not at the mercy of having to buy raw materials or depend on outside sources. We actually create our own raw materials. Furthermore, we actually do a lot of the R&D into those raw materials as well. So, for example, we have quite a famous probiotic strain here in Taiwan called GKM3 probiotics. This isn't just a digestive aid. Our clinical studies or our clinical data shows that it actually stimulates 1.5 times more natural GLP-1 production, making it a powerful natural GLP-1 engine, which can be used for weight management. GLP-1 nowadays is such a big trend, so this fits really nicely into that segment. And again, it's ours. It's our own R&D raw material and probiotic strain. The second part of our business, the second part we have is the medicinal mushrooms. So Antrodia, a very famous local Taiwanese mushroom, as well as our lion's mane mushroom. Mentioned earlier on, we have about 59% market share here in Taiwan just for functional mushrooms. And that's because we possess the IP for the fermentation and the extraction and the way we extract from these certain mycelia. Lion's mane has received a great deal of interest from new clients, both here in Taiwan and especially abroad, especially in the US. We get a lot of interest or a lot of inquiries regarding our lion's mane in the US. But this is also because it has been so well recognized from multiple global awards. We pride ourselves actually on our science-backed raw materials. That to us is really important. And then finally, you mentioned a moment ago the priority formulations. Our proprietary formulations, we have a library of over 1,000 custom formulations. So when a client comes to us, a new client or existing client comes to us and says they would like something new, something exciting, they're not just getting some generic product or some generic formulation. What they're actually getting is a science-backed, data-backed solution that is validated internally by ourselves. Which we're happy to share with our clients. So summing it up, for us, science-backed raw materials is very important to us, vital for the growth of nutraceutical health supplements. And furthermore, these are not just science-based or data. These are actually ours. It's the work that we've done, and we're backing it up 100%.
Got it. That's good to hear. And I think, it's one thing to have the raw material, but it's another to make people want to, sort of consume it, right? And I think
Mm.
historically supplements were just, pills and powders, but Grape King has been at the forefront of developing new formats, I've learned. Why has format innovation become, such a critical part of your OEM and ODM strategy now?
It's become a very critical part of our strategy because we're seeing consumers' mindset changing. And what I mean by this is we're now living in a world of lifestyle integration. So the younger demographics, like the Gen Zs and the millennials, they don't want to feel like they're taking a medicine. They want to feel like they're eating a snackable product or a treat, so to speak, and it tastes good as well. And of course, having the wellness or the well-being or the benefit, the healthy benefit to those products. So we've heavily invested in multi-format manufacturing capabilities. compared to some of our peers out there, I think is a little bit more advanced and also more available to potential clients or existing clients. So, for example, we've got jelly sticks nowadays. So our jelly sticks, high growth formats that fit into the busy daily life routines, very easy to carry, snackable, lovely. We've also got the ready to drinks liquids. So these are slim cans. A lot of people moving away from the traditional bottles. Slim cans, we're heavily investing in a production line for that. We've also got the dual phase soft gels. Now these soft gels that we have are state-of-the-art oil water-based encapsulation system that actually can increase the absorption rate once consumed of the active ingredient by about 10 to 12 times compared to a regular gel capsule. And then we've got one that is really popular for us, which is the liquid foil sachets. So these are super easy to carry. Tear it open, drink it, fits nicely into a bag, very easy to dispose of as well. And then we've got the one that is grown a lot with the younger generation as well, which is more powder and granule tubes. So moving more away from the traditional capsule, more into powder, into tubes. We also have production lines as well. So by offering these advanced formats, we're able to help our ODM partners de-risk the market that they want to go into and provide a high potency science-based product, but delivered in a way that meets modern consumers, their lifestyle choices, their lifestyle eating habits, etc. And again, they can enjoy it every day.
Understood. I wanted to talk about a little bit more on, one of those tier 1 partners. Your relationship with a major global pharmaceutical and consumer healthcare leader is essentially the gold standard of your integrations, into multinational supply chains. So, I mean, obviously, I think this relationship didn't happen overnight. It probably began with, a rigorous multi-year facility audits. I think it was back
Correct.
in 2018.
Yep.
Can you take us through that journey? How did you scale this, particular account, from a single probiotic SKU in Taiwan and now to a regional powerhouse growing at, more than 50% CAGR last year?
Sure. It really was a journey, and it was a couple of years journey from what I remembered it. I think the total process was about 3 years from start to actually producing, to being accepted, first of all, as an ODM partner, and then going on to obviously producing the first product. So that audit that you mentioned there was actually like an entrance exam for us to the global stage. Once we proved that our quality systems, our fermentation stability, product stability was all there, met their standards of this top tier global pharma giant, the trust moat was established essentially. So we started with a single product, a probiotic product here in Taiwan, which immediately triggered about 4.5 to 4.5 plus revenue surge for that account, because we proved that we could not only provide or produce on the volume that they wanted, but also maintain clinically the integrity of the formula and the product, the stability of the product. They expanded the mandate. So by 2025, we successfully rolled out 4 new products here in Taiwan and another 4 other SKUs across Southeast Asia. We moved from being a local vendor to actually what they call us as one of their vital regional integration partners. So yeah, it's been a journey, and it's only moving from strength to strength.
Yeah, that regional story sounds really impressive. And I'm just guessing for, an investors looking at your 2026 or 2027 forecast,
Yeah.
I think their big question is, can this scale further? What is the specific roadmap to upgrade Grape King from a regional partner to a truly, global OEM ODM supplier for clients of this magnitude?
It's a challenge, and it's a challenge we're willing to take on and excited about. So we're currently at the strategic point to make that global leap, and executing this on 3 fronts. So regulatory acceleration. We're aggressively pursuing EU and US ingredient registrations for our proprietary active raw materials. This allows our partners to use the raw materials in their global formulations without any regulatory fraction later on. 2, the infrastructure readiness. So we hit full utilization at the end of 2025 for their products. So we're now investing another 650 million NT dollars capex to upgrade Longtan and Pingzhen plants. This includes specialized lines for the jelly sticks, as well as our new slim can I mentioned a moment ago. That particular machine, just out of interest, is quite a smart production line. It can do slim can and bottling, so kind of doubling utilization as a sense. And that's also to meet global lifestyle demands. And then the Japan moat. We're already securing supply moats in high barrier markets like Japan, where patented fungal-based actives such as Antrodia seminia, just to mention as well on there as well. By combining our pharmaceutical grade quality with these new export-ready formats or formulas, we're actually de-risking the international entry point for our clients. So we aren't just shipping products, we're also providing a global biotech infrastructure for ODM clients out there.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds really impressive. And obviously, I think it's clear that the behind the pause story for Grape King is the successful transitions into a high-value biotech foundries with the onboarding of new customers and the continued scaling of your tier 1 global pharma partner. The visibility of 2026 and 2027 seems exceptionally high. Duncan, I want to thank you for this valuable strategic briefing.
Thank you, Jack. And again, thank you for the opportunity to be part of your Behind the Pulse and wishing
Yep.
you all the best of luck with it.
Yep.
Any questions, feel free to reach out.
Yep. For our viewers, you can access our full initiation report and the most recent updates on TruePulseCapital.com. Stay tuned for our next episode as we continue to track the pulse of Taiwan small cap hidden champions. See you next time.